All right, so as I was telling you about a little glimmer of hope, the Army and the DRDO together has now at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences have put up an oxygen generation plant. This is greatly going to help the patients inside the hospital and will reduce the dependence of the big hospitals on outside liquefied medical oxygen. Aishwarya Paliwal brings you this report.
As bizarre as it may sound, the need of the hour is oxygen, and the national capital needs a lot of it. 1,000 litres of oxygen production every minute. That's the task the Indian Armed Forces have accomplished at the prestigious All India Institute of Medical Sciences, or AIIMS, in the national capital. Soon after the armed forces were roped in, the Defence Research and Development Organisation, or DRDO, through its industry, has set up oxygen plants at the AIIMS. The idea is to make the hospital Atmanirbhar. With this plant up and running, the hospital will now be able to generate 1,000 litres of oxygen per minute. It will be sufficient for 195 patients every day. Moreover, 197 cylinders of 47 litres can be filled 150 times in just 24 hours.
Right now, the hospital is dependent upon the supply of the oxygen from outside. From the industry, the oxygen is being transported and is being filled at the storage tank of the hospital. Now with this, the oxygen will be generated in the campus of the hospital. Hospital will not be dependent on the outside supply. So as and when required, they can use the oxygen.
Given the acute shortage the country is facing at the moment, the DRDO will set up more plants just like this across the country in the next 3 months.
It will be definitely helpful, and it will be supporting hospitals where there are about 200 patients, 300 patients and all that. It will be very useful. We are trying to overcome continuously, and the industries are working very hard. I think we should be able to meet definitely the 500 numbers in 3 months.
The technology for these oxygen plants is based on the oxygen generation system featured on India's very own LCA Tejas fighter jet. It has been civilianized now for hospital use.
Hospitals across the country are becoming truly Atmanirbhar. This plant is being set up at AIIMS, one of the biggest facilities across the country. The work of this plant is to generate 1,000 litres of oxygen per minute. Yes, that's the astounding work which this plant will now do. The reason is to reduce the dependence that the hospitals at the moment have on outside supply. We are seeing how the number of COVID cases are rising across the country every 24 hours, which is why 500 of such plants will be set up across the country in the next 3 months. This is Aishwarya Paliwal reporting from the AIIMS facility in New Delhi with camera person Nasir Khan.
All right, with that, we are slipping into a very short break. On the other side, there have been many hospital horror stories that we show you every day. The whole idea is to show you the ground reality so that authorities in those states, in those districts, in those areas can improve their facilities and lives, precious lives, can be saved. I'll come up with a bunch of those ground realities after a short break. Stay tuned.